to go. James Toney will wear the green trunks with the gold stripe, and Rydell Booker in the red trunks. Rydell Booker comes in here very dry. Max, on how many times have you seen flash knockdowns when a fighter comes in like that?
Yep. Booker's also soft in the middle. You can see it, and though James is at the heaviest weight of his career, it's solid. It looks solid.
Booker says he wants to box him, stick and move. That's his plan in this fight. But James Toney is a guy who knows how to cut the ring. He's going to smother you. And I would take an educated guess that he's going to try to work that body.
Of course, he's a great body puncher, precise, hard body puncher with both hands. James is more comfortable when a fighter's coming at him so he can counterpunch. But he is capable of cutting off the ring. Booker is a very good boxer, especially early in the fight. First 4 or 5 rounds, and then he tends to tire. So if James wants to put in that body work now, money in the bank for later rounds.
Right hand by Booker did slip in here. Toney, he is a good boxer. And Toney, a guy who will stalk you, as we said, very adept at cutting the ring off. He's a very hard guy to stick and move on, and that's what Booker says he wants to do. Hopefully take him into deep water, take him into the later rounds.
Well, except that that's where James Toney excels. He's so relaxed, he can fight 1,000,000 rounds. It doesn't matter. Rydell Booker's been the one with problems in terms of stamina late in the fight.
Another thing we want to point out is that we talked about the weight of Booker at 220. He's actually 10 pounds lighter than his last fight, but he's 25 pounds heavier than he was just 3 fights ago when he beat Arthur Williams. But James Toney, just about a month ago, was 268. He came in at 227.
Well, he was coming off an injury where he was laid up with the Achilles problem. Tendon was torn, so there wasn't a lot of road work he could do. If you see the way James uses his left shoulder, his front shoulder, he rolls it. Very difficult to land a clean shot on his chin.
Gives you a lot of angles. He's the consummate pro. There's no question about it. Double left hand misses by Booker.
Nothing Booker just threw landed.
Toney just kind of biding his time, seeing what's in front of him. First round, pretty much as we expected.
But that landed.
Yeah, that left
nice
hand
left
slipping
hand,
in.
quick.
Toney, meantime, just stalking him, trying to stick that left hand downstairs. Good right hand of the body and another by Toney.
Hands are free, gentlemen. Punch, hands are free. All right, stop, break. Let's go. Box.
Accuracy of Toney's punches. He doesn't waste much.
And a heavy-handed guy, too. Toney just smiled at that combination thrown by Booker. As if to say, is that the best you got?
Well, it's also, Toney loves to fight. He loves fighting.
It shows you a pretty good jab, too. He throws it from his hip, but it gets there, and it gets there in a hurry. Good jab by Booker, and a right hand behind it just missed.
10 seconds, stop at the bell, gentlemen. 10 seconds, stop at the bell.
Another good body shot. You could tell the plan of Toney, and that is work the body, no question about it. End of 1. Not a bad first round, really, for Booker, I thought.
Although I thought he lost it. I agree, and I thought he lost it. Rydell Booker, you can see the guy can move. He has good lateral movement. He has good skills. But yes, he's always lacked conditioning and stamina, and it's especially shown up when he's stepped up in his level of opposition, which has only been twice where you've really fought a name opponent. Both fights, you dominated early and faded late.
You gotta stick it out or pull it back in. I'll watch it.
James Toney, one of the most skillful fighters you will ever see. 2003 Fighter of the Year. Last year, unanimously Fighter of the Year. You know, his conditioning, it doesn't matter always what he looks like, and he looks pretty tight this fight because his body does, because he's so relaxed in the ring. He can fight 100 rounds, and he's so accurate. Nothing's wasted, especially to the body. He turned that fight against Holyfield around in the 3rd round in a close fight. One left hook, he snaked under Holyfield's right elbow. From then on, it was all Toney.
And he says, and I think he's right, that he's a better fighter now than he was when he was a promising middleweight and a middleweight champion. Left hand slipped in by Booker, and there's a good chopping right by Toney. Might have been the best punch of the fight. Toney more in punching range here in the 2nd round.
Stop! Break! Let him go, Booker. Come on now.
The thing about this fight, here's an undefeated kid from Toney's hometown with some hand speed and some real skills. This is not the easiest fight in the world after an 11-month layoff due to an injury.
The moment Toney has Booker backing up, and that's exactly how he wants it.
Get out of there. Let's go. Box.
Booker has been able to slip in a few sneaky left hooks that have landed cleanly. It's not so easy to do against James.
Slip the right hand in there. Toney just kind of walked through it, uppercut, big shot, and that hurt Booker. Did you see the knees buckle?
Toney has mastery of every punch in the book. Hooks and uppercuts from both hands, whether his left foot or right foot is forward, to the head and the body, from long range or inside. It's a masterful boxer.
That was an excellent combination. It was a body shot and then the uppercut.
Take a deep breath, Toney. Let's go now.
Toney working the body very effectively here. And another good short right hand.
Toney good at avoiding Booker's right hand, but Booker is getting left hands in there.
Hands are free, hands are free. All right, stop.
I think Booker has been stung a couple times in this round by the right hand of James Toney.
Let's go. Box.
Sean O'Grady is with us ringside, and Toney starting to do what he wants here.
Oh, the plan has already been laid. Toney even smiling in there because he knows what he's going to do. He knows what he has to do. He's also allowing Rydell Booker to see that smile. Booker all of a sudden saying, uh-oh, what have I gotten myself into? But he's tough, undefeated.
Another uppercut right on the nose of Rydell Booker. Causes blood to start flowing immediately.
Booker was making comments before this fight. Even if I lose, I'm still only 23 and I'll gain experience. Not the kind of talk you'd like to hear before a guy steps in with a guy like James Toney.
Those body shots are really starting to have an effect, and it's making everything else easier for James Toney.
Stop, break. Let's go, let him go. Come on.
Dominant round for James Toney.
And there's that left hook again, though, from Rydell. He is getting that in. See Toney slipping the right hands, keeping that left shoulder just so beautiful to watch.
Uppercut again, and then a chopping right hand. Both got there, and now Booker's in trouble.
10 seconds, stop.
Holds on.
Break, 10 seconds, stop at the bell. Let him go. Let's go, box. Stop at the bell.
Toney opening up, and a big round for him in round two.
You know, Toney, the reason he's able to land an uppercut like that, he has a lot of confidence in his own ability to take a punch. I know Booker's not a big name guy, but he is a big guy, and Toney spent most of his career south of heavyweight. Yet his confidence in his own ability to absorb a shot lets him step in with hard shots like that of his own.
Well, Tom Arnold, you predicted a second-round knockout, and honestly, Tom, I think if that fight was a minute longer, if that round was a minute longer, you'd have been right.
Yeah, and if I was scoring this like a real fan, it would be 10-2 Toney that one, but I'm going to give it 10-8 because I know the damn rules. He almost had him.
No, you're absolutely right. He did almost have him, and
that's a good score by Tom Arnold. 10-8. That's right. I wish there was more liberal system of scoring in boxing. Toney dominated the whole round, hurt him throughout the round. Why not give Toney that extra point?
That's right.
No, I absolutely agree with. Well, they tried that in the state of New York for a while. Not successfully, I might add. Round number 3. Toney meets Booker with a sharp jab.
Booker continues to land the left, though. It's surprising to see Toney get hit even that much. He's so good defensively.
But he's just kind of walking through that.
He is, and he's throwing his own jab with such conviction. It's rocking Booker back.
Blood continuing from the nose of Rydell Booker. It was caused by one of those uppercuts in that second round.
Notice also Toney started the jab to the body, the soft midsection, Rydell's soft midsection. Then he started bringing it up to the head.
Booker, there's a roundhouse right that misses from Toney. And there's a good right to the body, right to the head, right to the body. And Toney senses that Booker's in trouble. And he may be.
I'd like to amend my prediction of a 7th round knockout. I'd like to put that down about the 4th.
Tom would like to extend his to the 3rd. I have to say, going into the fight, I agreed with Tom. I thought this fight might go 2 rounds, but right now,
that's not Toney's style.
No, it's not.
He studies guys and breaks them down slowly. And the thing about James is he enjoys it.
There's an uppercut again, and that is really becoming a weapon. And it starts with a shot to the body.
Stop. Let's go.
Booker, by the way, not just fighting to survive, not running away and holding on. He's fighting with a lot of heart.
He's in trouble again. That was a right uppercut and then a left cross. And even the jab is knocking Booker backwards now.
Booker also, when he moves to his right, his feet are crossing incorrectly. Tony lands a punch as Booker moves to his right, crosses his feet like that. He's going to knock him down.
Those body shots are just hellacious from Tony.
All right, stop. Take a deep breath. Let's go. Deep breath, both of you gentlemen. Deep breath.
And Booker's just allowing Tony just to walk to him now.
I mean, look, James Toney, after an 11-month layoff after an injury, is taking on a young undefeated heavyweight, 23 years old, a pretty determined guy. I mean, not a guy who's just coming to lie down, and it's a mismatch. So far, the fight is a mismatch. That's how good James Toney is.
I think that's absolutely right. Well said.
And this is a former middleweight, people, middleweight.
But let me ask you about Chris Bird's point that he made earlier on the Best Damn Sports Show, and that is talking about the fact that really the guy he's fighting is a blown-up cruiserweight.
Well, I mean, James is a blown-up middleweight. Chris is a blown-up middleweight. A lot of the better heavyweights in the world right now are smaller guys, smaller, skillful guys from the lighter weight division.
I notice that you're saying that when you're sitting next to me, not when you're saying it when you're sitting next to Chris.
Stop. Break. Nice and relax. Deep breath, both. Deep breath.
Booker trying to figure out the answer here, and I'm not sure he has one.
All right, stop. Break. 10 seconds. Stop at the bow. Let's go.
Booker steps back, takes a deep breath. Good shot again by Tony.
Stop
Big round once again.
Bow.
Well, right now, Tony putting a whooping on Rydell Booker. Let's listen in.
Yeah, hold his nose for me.
Everything we worked on, man, you throw it out the window. Everything we worked so hard on. What's going on? When he comes to you, step back. You just run down the middle.
Sure.
Listen.
Everything okay, baby?
Yeah. Listen, when he comes to you, step back. Just run down the middle. Get in the angles. Boxing. That's all you got to do. You sit right there in front of him. That's like you never stood uppercut. Spin him around off you. Spin the right hand. Come back down.
Let's go. Too many people up there.
That's all you got to do.
Joe.
Corner of James Toney.
No, this gentleman. Get down, Joe. This is going to you guys up.
Put the hook right hand.
Come on, I got him down already.
All right?
You got to stop boxing.
Here. The jab and the hooks that work up here. You says right up in the air. Jab, hook, then finish him with the right hand. All right?
Mouthpiece is in.
Freddie Roach was not the most skillful fighter of his era, Barry, to say the least, but the reason he's such a good trainer for James Toney, besides his credentials, he is an excellent trainer, is he is real. Toney is real, and when Freddie Roach says something, as tough as he was, as honest a fighter as he was, James Toney's got to respect it.
Absolutely, you said it. I mean, he wasn't the most stylish fighter, but he had one of the biggest tickers of anybody I've ever seen.
All right, stop. Break. Nice and relax. Nice and relax.
Sean, you were in the corner of Rydell Booker. What's the thought there?
Well, Barry, I was talking to Henry Hill and watching him. Sense of urgency over here. They know that Toney is coming after him, so they're trying to get Rydell to turn, to take a half step back and throw uppercuts. They say he's coming, you got to fight him, Barry.
Well, he's trying to fight him, but he's finishing second. That's not real good in this sport.
A lot of fighters have tried to come and fight James Toney, including belt holders like Prince Charles Williams, champions like Mike McCallum, pound-for-pound guys like Michael Nunn. Most of them have failed.
Booker now just covering up.
Come on, baby.
It's all about the body shots, though. That's really what has done it so far for Toney. Tries another one with the left hand.
Even Vasily Girov, who was an undefeated gold medalist, voted the best boxer in the games that year.
Sharp right hand by Toney.
Most of his fights by knockout, undefeated cruiserweight belt holder, and Toney beat him. James Toney is one of the most skillful fighters you'll ever see. He's also one of the toughest.
Get that camera back.
Little old pro technique right there. Tap him once, tap him twice. Get him used to that speed and that rhythm. And then he lands the hard shots. Well, he lulls him to sleep.
Come on, Rydell.
It's not like a head-to-head. Toney just kind of walks out of there.
He's giving him a false sense of security here. That's why Toney is tapping.
Didn't tap with that one.
Come on. You in there,
Toney laying in on him a little bit more in this round. Sometimes you'll see a guy take a round off.
Well, he also threw a vicious flurry early. James Toney is 36 years old.
There's that uppercut again. Boy, that's a big punch.
Now, if you're in Rydell Booker's corner, you have to ask yourself, why, it may be time to go away from what you've practiced. It's obviously not working. I think either you stop the fight or you tell him, Rydell, load up with everything you have on home run shots this round. We're giving you one round to do it, and then we're stopping it. But this is clearly not working. You can't box with James.
No, absolutely not. And I'm not sure he has enough pop. I think Toney might have already seen the best of Booker.
A 220-pound man, though, if he puts everything he's got on it, anything can happen. Maybe give him one more round to try it, and then stop it.
So even though Toney is not doing a lot in this round, he's still doing enough to win the round.
Yeah, big.
Booker
wide margin.
covering up once again.
10 seconds. Stop at the bell, gentlemen. 10 seconds.
Just kind of laying in
All
on
right, stop. Break. Here we go. Let's go. 10 seconds. Stop at the bell. 4 seconds left.
And finishes it with a sharp right hand.
Don't pull that shit, son. I told him not to do that, James. He won't do it again, okay?
You see Toney with the right hook to the body, right uppercut to the head. Reminds you of anyone, Barry? That was Mike Tyson's favorite combination.
Daddy! Why are you so quick on the draw, Hump?
Tom Arnold, how'd you see that one?
Well, first of all, the ring girl gets a 10. I'm going to go another 10-8. I know you guys don't like it, but
he's the first one to
Rydell's he's holding. You know, he's winning. I know it wasn't Tony's best round, but I got to give him 10.
Tom, I don't like it. I love it. That's exactly right. If more people in boxing used the scoring system the way it was intended, that would have been a 10-8 round.
You're right, my friend. IMAX.
He is the Harold Letterman of Fox
But
Sports
because Tom's coming to it from a fan's point of view, he's sitting there, I have 10 points.
No, he's right.
Why should the loser get automatically 9 when he just got beaten up all round?
I agree. Toney just flashed a little smile at you and I here.
Rydell doesn't want to get off that stool. Every second on that stool felt good to him.
Do you blame him?
Stop. Nice and relaxed. Let's go.
This is round 5. Toney kind of took round 4 off and still won the round. Booker comes out trying to jab Toney.
Let his arm go, Booker.
There goes that left hook again.
That was a pretty good shot.
Hands are free, gentlemen. Hands are free.
And he is trying to load up.
Hands are free, gentlemen.
I mean, how much of this do you want your guy to take if you're in Rydell's corner? There's always the chance you can land a lucky shot, something freak can happen, Toney can roll an ankle, but how much are you willing to risk? How much do you want to bank on that happening?
That right hand was a wake-up call for Toney.
This is, there's a certain kind of fight that can get a young fighter experience. There's another kind of fight that can ruin him. And too many more rounds like this, you can ruin a young fighter.
Very well put. That was another good right hand to the body by Toney. He's just stalking Booker now. And that right hand just right through the glove of Booker.
Now, having talked about the obvious disparity in skills here, it is a joy to watch Toney fight. It is a joy to watch Toney fight. For an average fan who just loves to see blood and guts and knockouts, and also for the connoisseur who loves to see this kind of upper echelon all-time skill. It's a joy to watch the guy fight.
All right, stop. Break. Deep breath.
Sean O'Grady right now is in the corner of James Toney, and I imagine, Sean, everybody's pretty relaxed right now.
Yeah, a lot of silence over here in this corner. I think they're watching the beauty. Freddie Roach, a terrific Hall of Fame trainer. What do you see?
You know, James is doing what he's supposed to be doing. We knew this guy's undefeated, but he never fought the class of James Toney. You know, he's 22-0, but he's never really faced anyone like James. And I just want James to go out there, get some rounds, break him down to the body, and take him out later on.
Nice work downstairs to the body. Do you think there'll be a point where James just gets tired of this and ends this fight?
Definitely. You know, he can pick it up if he wants to. He's just kind of playing with the guy right now.
I noticed you guys over here rubbing his arm. Something wrong with his biceps?
You know, he went on a bit of a weightlifting program and got a little bit maybe too big, and he's a little bit tight.
Yeah, a little tight, but he still has to feel good. Getting a little bit of work. Barry?
Break.
All right, thanks very much. And it is exactly as Freddie Roach drew it up. And I'll tell you, those two guys are a pretty tough team to beat, Freddie Roach and James Toney. Freddie knows from whence he speaks.
One of the all-time great hearts in boxing, one of the all-time great good guys. And right now, one of the all-time great guys. And right now, one of the best trainers in the game, and he's got one of the best students. And truth be told, how much is James actually going to learn at this point in his career? It's Freddie's job to make sure that James stays focused, comes in shape.
But in the past, and I like you, I've done a ton of James Toney's fights going all the way back to when he was a middleweight. There were times he just wouldn't show up. And those days are gone. I mean, maybe he knows the clock is ticking for whatever reason.
There's a sense of urgency now,
He's a different guy, you're right. Let's go back, take a look at how this fight has progressed. We'll take you back to round number 3. First of all, the fight really has been all James Toney since the first round.
Yeah, the hard jab, the precise body shots. He's still defensively responsible. See how he gets the right hand up to avoid the left hook, then throws a 3-punch combination. You see the fourth round action. Rydell missed all 4 of those punches. Couldn't land the jab. Toney works on the inside with a right uppercut.
You talked about it earlier. You can see how he rolls, and he never really gets hit squarely, even though he is pretty much in front of his man.
That's right, and even when he gets hit with one shot, he doesn't get hit with the combination. Everyone can get hit with a shot every now and then. You never see a guy tag James with 2 or 3 shots in a row.
Hasn't lost, as you see, since 1997. I mean, he's the deal. There's no question about it. And there is kind of a vacuum right now in the heavyweight division. And I say that with all due respect to Chris Bird, who I think is not only a classy guy, but a classy champion, too.
But Chris is more evidence. Chris is a naturally lighter guy who saw opportunity at heavyweight because he is so good. And because, he doesn't look at any of these guys like they're really that much of a threat.
Toney comes out all business here in round number 6.
Nice and relaxed. Let's go. Let him go. Right down. Let's go. Let his hand go right down. Let his hand go. Okay, stop. Break. Let's go.
Toney has that look that he could probably take Booker anytime he wants. Last time I said that, the guy I said it about got knocked on his butt.
Who was it?
Sugar Ray Leonard. It was against Howard in his comeback fight.
Kevin the Spoiler House.
Yes. As soon as I said Leonard could take him out anytime he wants, Howard hit Leonard and he went down.
You know, the funny thing, though, is Leonard in that fight, you could see his heart wasn't in it. He didn't want to be fighting. James Toney loves to fight. He loves it.
Again, a sharp right hand. And again, what you see more than anything else is Toney not getting hit.
Right.
You have this fight a 5-point edge for Toney. Hard to see it really any other way.
You know what? I think if I could, you can't go back and change rounds, but if I could, I'd change 2 or 3 to 10-8 rounds. I think Tom Arnold's right. The thing about Toney, too, is, Lennox Lewis was the heavyweight champion of the world, but no one ever looked at him as the baddest man on the planet. He didn't have that aura. Mike Tyson was the last great heavyweight who was also the baddest man on the planet. And what James Toney brings to the division is not only supreme skill, but that sense of being the baddest guy out there. Difference between the best and the baddest, and James wants to prove he's both.
Little pity-pat jabs from Booker, who just really doesn't have much left in the tank. I remind you, of course, you're watching this fight on the Best Damn Sports Show, period, commercial-free. And that's something you don't see very much. At least not on commercial television. Booker did slip a shot in there.
This is traditionally where Booker starts to slow down in the fight. He hasn't had a chance to speed up at any time, so we can't really tell if he's slowing down, but this is generally where he starts to fade.
And you made this point early in the fight, but it's typical of Toney. He just kind of wears you down. He's kind of got one speed. He doesn't really change gears too much, and he's fighting the same in round 12 as he is in round 1. You saw Booker just take a big step back. And
Booker's starting to think about if he wants to be fighting right now.
That's right.
That right hand to the body just started making him think about it.
A deep breath through his mouth. When you see a fighter breathe through his mouth, you know he's tired. You know he doesn't have much left.
Stop at the bell, Jimmy.
Coming down to the end of round 6, more of same.
Don't hit him back here, man. Don't hit him back here.
Well, Tom Arnold, let me guess, 10-8 on that one, too.
You got that right. I'll tell you, all Booker's doing is reacting at best. He's holding on. He's reacting a little bit. James is bringing it. He's relentless, like you said. I think he's punishing him at this point. I hope he gets it over with quick for both their sakes.
Tom, it's going to be a revolution in scoring. You're leading a revolution in scoring. I love it.
Plus, I got to go to the bathroom, so I'm hoping, something happens.
You got about 3 minutes. Go ahead, quick.
All right. It's a lot of fun to watch, guys.
You know what? Tom Arnold's watching it through expert eyes here. Knows what he's talking about. Well, it's hard to see this fight really anyway, but the way it is, I think. I gave Booker the first round, and I gave him the first round in the same way I gave De La Hoya the first round the other night.
He exceeded expectations.
Yeah, that's exactly
that opportunity to try to do it.
Sean O'Grady, you have been in this situation. You've been on both sides of this situation, on the Toney side and on the Booker side. What is it like for a guy like Booker right now, who really, for all intent, has no chance of winning this fight?
Right, he's completely out of this fight. I would kind of like to see the corner step in and say, you know what? It's not your night tonight. You're not there yet. we kind of questioned the veracity of his abilities today when we were talking to him. He didn't quite see where he was going and what he was doing. He really wasn't focused on tonight's fight. But I like Tom Arnold's, and I like your, Mac's, idea about the 10-8 rounds. I think it's extremely important. Also, I like that Tom is saying this is fun to watch. And believe me, Tom, it's more fun to watch than it is to get in there and fight.
To be Rydell Booker or someone in his family watching this fight. It's not fun for them.
It's brutal. When you're taking a beating, it's brutal. It's relentless, too, from James Toney. He doesn't stop.
That's the operable word, relentless. I mean, Toney is, like I said, he doesn't really ever floor it, but he's always on the gas about 3/4 of the way, and he never gets off it.
Yeah, Booker had an idea, throw a right to the body of his own. Unfortunately, it's the 7th round before he decided to try it.
Sean O'Grady, of course, the former lightweight champion of the world, so he's been there.
Booker's actually having his best round in a while. He's still losing it, obviously, but is at least seeming to come out of his shell a little.
Quick right hand slipped in by Toney.
Deep breath. Stop. Break. Nice and relaxed. Stop. Break. Let's go. Right down. Let's go. Box.
Booker's doing what he can, but what he can is very little.
Yeah, Sean's right. It's not his night. I don't think any night that Booker fights Toney will be Booker's night. You know, something else needs to be said here, Barry. James Toney's looked incredibly impressive all night long. He wants to end this fight in a knockout. He wants to create demand to see him. And the casual sports fan who maybe hasn't caught the fight, oh, James Toney knocked the guy out. It has a nicer ring to it than he won on points.
I think that's true.
He wants to close the show.
Stop at the bell. 10 seconds.
He wanted rounds to begin with. It's getting toward that point now where I would have to think he would like to just get it over with. It's the end of the 7th round. James Toney getting back into the ring after an 11-month layoff. Remember October 2003, even though Evander Holyfield, in my opinion, has been shot for a long time, and he's still going to come back and fight. This was still an impressive win.
It's not your opinion, it's a fact, Barry. Holyfield shot, but no one ever beat him like this. And Toney beat Holyfield no differently than he's beating Rydell Booker tonight. He turned Holyfield into a journeyman. It was sad to see. It was difficult to watch. A total domination. The only other time Holyfield was ever stopped in his career was against Riddick Bowe in their 3rd fight. A titanic right hand by a 250-pound guy practically put him out. Not since then, and Holyfield fought Lennox Lewis twice and Mike Tyson twice. No one does that to Evander Holyfield. Even Chris Bird, who beat him decisively before Toney beat him, didn't beat him like that. I'm sure Chris will have something to say about that after the fight.
Come on now, hold now.
And Holyfield's still not done. He's coming back yet another time.
Box, let's go.
Round number 8.
Watch your heads, guys.
Toney on his toes now.
A lot of people would say, wouldn't you want the young kid to get the experience of going the distance with a guy like Toney? Wouldn't that boost his confidence? I went the distance. No. It's the punishment he's accepting here is not worth the reward of later on saying, oh, I went the distance with James Toney. There's the beginning of the end. There's the beginning of the end.
Trying to get himself a little punching room. Booker in retreat. Toney stalking him.
Toney's a vicious finisher. He still takes his time, measures you, lands pinpoint shots. That right hand was the beginning of the end.
And another right hand. That one misses.
Left hook.
Booker trying to tie him up. Chopping right hand right to the body and the uppercut.
Again,
and he's in trouble again.
If you're in Booker's corner, what are you waiting for?
Toney right on him again. Left hand and right behind him. Booker trying to hold on.
Relax. Let's go.
Got a long way to go here. Just under 2 minutes.
This is a mismatch. The guy is now looks slightly concussed. He's looking towards his corner. You know.
And he takes it.
Right.
Gotta stop it. Gotta stop it.
Right here. Right. He's looking towards his corner. He wants help. And why is his corner making him go down and hear the boos from the crowd? It's not that he doesn't have heart. It's that he has the sense to know there's no way to win. The corner should take the onus off of Rydell by stopping this fight.
Even Toney. Toney's giving him room here just to cash it in. And he really should. He's just going to get more of a beating. And there's one thing about being game, and there's another thing about being stupid.
And now the first line of defense is the corner. The second is the ref. How much more do you need to see? I know everyone would like a conclusive ending, but I think this fight's been pretty conclusive since the beginning, Barry.
It absolutely has been, and Booker's just taking more and more of a beating as the fight goes on. There's a right to the body and a right uppercut again.
Hands are free, gentlemen. Hands are free. Stop!
And Booker is trying to hold on. Booker is in full survival mode now.
Keeps looking towards the corner. Help me, guys. Don't make me go out like this. Let me go out with a little dignity on my feet. Okay, my corner stopped, but he keeps looking over there.
Backs himself into the ropes again.
And nowadays, he does have heart. Booker does have heart. Nowadays, with the mics in the corner and everyone always listening, you can't even get in there and whisper, hey, stop the fight, I'm getting hurt out there.
Stop, break, deep breath, both of you folks. Let's go, guys, come on.
Sometimes a little too much bravado in this sport, and we've seen both of us, too many people get hurt by being too brave.
And Booker's heart has been on display this entire fight. There's no questioning his heart.
And Toney has the look of a guy who really doesn't want to hurt his opponent here. Well, Booker got through the round, and you have to hope that his corner stops the fight here. And they show no indication that they will.
They're asking him, do you want to continue? And if you ask a fighter...
Knockdown, Frankie.
If you ask a fighter like Rydell Booker, there's that right hand. But that was not the right hand that started him. No, that wasn't. Well, maybe it was. It may have been. Yeah, that was the one. That's the right hand. You know, now you ask a guy like Rydell Booker, do you want to continue? The answer is always going to be yes. He has heart. You have to make that decision for him.
Frankie, I only had conditioning for 2 rounds.
Very smart move. For a young kid, that's a veteran move to go down to a knee like that. Try to regroup.
Freddie Roach, I'm sure, is just telling him, go get him.
Mouthpiece is in, seconds out. Let's go, baby. You like it, baby. You like it.
Yeah, I'd really like to see him stop this fight.
There's also the question, look, there are various lines of defense for a fighter's own good, a fighter with a lot of heart and moxie, like Booker, who's in over his head. The first is the corner, the next is the ref, the next is the ringside physician. Someone needs to step up.
Round 9, Toney leaps off the stool and right at Booker.
Nice and relaxed, nice and relaxed. Let's go.
But Booker is going to wake up in the middle of the night and see Toney on top of him tonight.
Get your arm out, James. Get your arm out.
Literally, I would presume.
All right, stop. No. Let's go. Nice and relaxed, guys.
Sean O'Grady from the corner of Rydell Booker. And what are they thinking, Sean?
A very somber corner here, Rydell Booker. Henry Hill, even at one point, holding his hands, his face in his wrap. I'd sure like to see the towel come out, guys.
There's that right to the body and right uppercut again. That's been what's brought Toney this entire fight.
All right, stop.
Toney has a bazooka at a range of 100 feet. This guy has a knife. You can give him all the instruction you want.
You're making me wrestle. Come on now.
You know, it's nothing against Rydell Booker as a fighter. He's actually in the best shape I've seen him in terms of his ability to continue fighting late in the fight at a pretty good pace. But he's in with an all-time great who's determined.
Yeah, he's overmatched. You see that happens in boxing. Toney, what a jab. Yeah. Toney just punishing Rydell Booker here. That's his job.
It is, and I do get the sense, as you did, Barry, that Toney's actually decelerated a little because he doesn't want to hurt the guy. You think, well, why not just knock him out? Well, Booker's a determined guy, and he has skills, and he can handle himself enough to keep himself upright. But the first 10-8 round of the fight that I have scored, I just gave to James Toney. He's won every round. The last one, 10-8. Tom Arnold is probably right. He's probably won some other 10-8 rounds, too.
Nice and relaxed. Deep breath. Okay, let's go.
That's right, but you never see that, of course. Takes a knockdown like he had in the last round.
His hand right down.
To make it a 10-8 fight.
Usually, yes.
Well, Sean O'Grady and I did a fight many years ago in Mexicali that the last round was a 10-6 round, and it was Jorge Paez, and he wound up winning the fight and needed the 10-6 to win the fight.
Let's go, gentlemen. Let's go, gentlemen. Come on now.
And it was legitimate. He knocked down Calvin Grove 4 times in the final round.
Short of a knockout, there aren't enough points in the 10-point must system that Booker can win in a round to win this fight.
No. He'd have to get Toney into minus numbers.
All right. Stop. Break. Watch your feet, guys. Watch your feet, guys. 10 seconds. Stop at the bell.
Final 10 seconds of round number 9.
Hear that right to the
Stop
body.
at the bell,
Hear
guys.
End of 9.
Right down. It's okay to tie up, but you gotta let go when I say break. Okay, son?
Well, Rydell Booker has done okay in fights that last 10 or more rounds, but you have the idea that that perfect record may go away here.
How could you say that, Barry?
A lucky guess. Tom Arnold, I know you're seeing this the same way we are.
Yeah, I'm seeing it the same way. And, you know, we're seeing a lot of cuts out there for Booker, but we're seeing something we don't usually see in a fight, which is a little compassion from James Toney. I think they got to keep fighting. I know you were saying call the fight, but this kid is 23 years old. This is big chance. It does make a difference if he goes the distance, but it also makes a difference if Toney knocks him out. You're right. But he is taking some punishment.
You know, it's a good point that sometimes a fighter will decelerate because they think they're being compassionate. Actually, it's worse off for the fighter they're facing. It'd be better if Toney were to accelerate and get this over with for Rydell Booker.
So we come to round number 10. And to say that it's a long shot for Rydell Booker is to make an understatement. Yeah, he can probably find something. We've seen it before, but you know what?
Oh, there have been many fights where a guy's been at least this far back and has won the fight on a one-punch knockout. I can think of even Marlon Starling, Tomas Malinares. And Starling was a great defensive fighter, winning the whole fight. Gets caught with a shot at the end of the round and knocked out. But in this kind of fight, when a young kid's taking this kind of beating, it's a real beating. It's not just that Toney's winning rounds. Tom's scoring these rounds 10-8, and I agree with him a lot of the time.
He's right. No, that's right. No,
it's this kind of fight where where yes, it helps you. It gives you the chance to maybe land a lucky punch late to keep fighting. It helps your confidence that you went the distance to keep fighting. But it physically is not very good to keep fighting.
See Booker just grimace from that body shot. There was also a clash of heads, but it was the body shot that made him just grimace in pain.
Let's go now.
There's that uppercut again. And a right hand again. Another right hand, and Booker's wobbled once more. And this time Toney will try to get him out of there. Booker backing into the ropes.
Right,
holds on.
Break. Let go. Let's go. Box.
Toney's such a sophisticated fighter. He feints and throws the punch where he expects you to be. He anticipates the move off the feint and then throws the punch to that spot, not even where the guy is right now.
Booker trying to hold on.
All right, up. Let's go. Box. Let go. Stop. Break. Let's go. Box.
Booker just doesn't seem to have much in his legs. He was wobbly a little while ago. He's got his legs back under him, but they're heavy.
All right, stop. Break. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Deep breath. Deep breath. Come on.
Good, sharp, straight right hand. There's that jab and right hand behind it. The jab is stronger than the right hand.
All right, stop. Break. Nice and easy. Let's go. Box.
Booker does not lack courage, Barry. And he is loading up on some shots. He's trying to land a big shot. But, you know, it's like facing Randy Johnson. It ain't going to happen.
Exactly.
All right, stop. Let him go. Let's go. Let's go. Box.
Right now, I'd say Booker has more chance of hitting a Randy Johnson fastball than he does James Toney.
Stop. Break. Let's go. Stop at the bell.
Coming to the end of round 10.
Doing a hell of a job.
Well, it's been a repetitive act for James Toney, and Rydell Booker has been the recipient of most of the punishment, in fact, all of the punishment in this fight.
You're doing a hell of a job, both of you
hands
guys.
by
11th round.
Toney.
Keep it clean, guys. Watch your head.
You see Booker doing some actually nice, subtle defensive things there. But he's in against a different class of fighter. He's tucking his chin. He's rolling with punches. He's doing He's a nice young pro. He's not a bad fighter. This is not a case of, oh, Toney fought some bum. That's not the case at all. Toney fought a nice fighter, but he's great.
Come back on top with it for me. That's all you got to do. Come on, baby, work for me.
Got 6 minutes. Still hoping against hope.
Let it go, man. Just let it go.
Booker's corner.
Come on, Rydell.
11, let's go, baby. Up.
Round 11. Booker has knocked out 12 of his 22 opponents. He stepped up on a couple of occasions against Uriah Grant and against Arthur Williams, but it also should be said that Williams was 38 when he fought him and Grant was 41.
And what happened in those fights? Former cruiserweight belt holders. He started very well, dominated the early rounds, Booker, and then faded late, and it was a close fight. Both fights were close because he faded late. In this fight, Toney never gave him a chance to start fast.
No.
That was the second round, last round, the 10th. And I gave 10-8 to Toney because he staggered Booker, where it looked like Booker might drop after another couple of shots.
Lopsided fight.
All right, stop. Back up a little bit. I'm going to fix your trucks. Come here, James.
Booker has proven us all wrong, however.
All right, box.
Our predictions all have gone away. Chopping right hand by Booker, but it landed on his shoulders.
Now, if Booker was the kind of guy who pressured his opponent, this fight would have been over rounds ago. But Toney's being forced to follow him and chase him a little bit, and that's not Toney's natural style.
All right, stop. Nice deep breath. Let's go.
John O'Grady, I'm assuming you agree with everybody in this building.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It is Rydell Booker just showing his guts and determination, hanging in there. But Rydell said coming into this fight, you know, I know I'm going to learn some things. I do want to win. I'm coming to win, but I know I'm in there with one of the all-time greats in James Toney. So he's happy just to be in there, and he looks like he's in a defensive mode at this point, too. He just wants to last to the final bell.
He's got a chance to do that. This is round 11, coming down to 1 minute left, so if he survives 4 more minutes, he's got a right hand in there.
And a nice left off the right hand. Finished the combination with the left hand, which is correct.
Box.
Still a little life in Rydell Booker. There's that right to the body, right uppercut. That's just been Toney has brought to this dance one time after another.
Now that seemed to wake Toney up. The lack of competitiveness of the fight seemed to cause some disinterest in Toney really hurting his guy. As soon as Booker got a little more competitive, it seemed to awaken James. He's more willing to hurt him.
Coming down toward 15 seconds remaining in round 11. Counter right hand that time by Toney. Came right in for the right hand of Booker.
And Booker landed his right hand.
10 seconds. Stop at the bell.
End of round 11. He's still here. Well, Tom Arnold, I think it was your sparring with James Toney that's made the difference for him. I don't think there's any question about that.
Well, I can't tell if James Toney is compassionate or sadistic. You know, this thing, man, it's going, and I think this next round we're going to see the lightning hit, and we're going to see a knockout. I'm predicting that right now.
Strong prediction.
You know one thing that I saw James dropped his hands and mocked Rydell?
Yeah.
We had a fight here a couple months ago, Tom, on Sunday Night Fights. Nate Campbell, Robbie Peaton. Campbell had the fight won, dropped his hands. Peaton jumped in with a left hook and knocked him out. Don't play with a real pro.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen in this case, but you never know. That's the thing about heavyweights. You know, back to you, IMAX.
No, IMAX, Tom. IMAX, you, Tom.
Him, Max. You know that guy. They made a movie about him.
Nothing he did outside of the game should prevent him from being in the Hall of Fame, Barry. 4,200 plus hits. Nothing can take that away.
Last round.
I'm not going to touch it. 12th and final round.
Oh,
good body shot again.
Those hurt to watch.
All right, stop. Break. Box.
Well, you got to give Booker credit for being game, I suppose, but you to see a guy take a real beating, and this has been a real beating.
But you know what? He was game in the right way in that he never just threw caution to the wind and tried to get it over with. He never, as I suggested he'd do early, he never just started tying Toney up and fought to survive. He's fighting as well as he can the entire time. And against a lot of other guys, it might be enough. Not enough against James, but he never went into a purely defensive posture. You see now, he's still throwing punches in the last round, Rydell.
No, I think that's right. And I think, you know, stepping up as he has done to fight James Toney, I mean, that is the difference from going from the minor leagues to the major leagues.
Hands are free, hands are free.
It's a whole different game.
Let's go. Deep breath, both of you. Come on.
But this was a win-win fight, I think, for Rydell Booker. I mean, he's not going to really lose anything in terms of credibility for losing a fight to James Toney, who is arguably one of the top 2 or 3 heavyweights in the world.
Oh, good right hand.
Sharp right hand, yeah.
Break. Let's go. Nice.
And James keeps acting as though it's not hurting him, and I believe it's not. But when you drop your hands like that to show your opponent it's not hurting, that's when you get caught.
All right, stop. Nice and relax. Let's go right down. Come on, baby. Come on.
I think a lot of people in this building are surprised that this fight may be in the hands of the judges after all is said and done. Right hand, and Toney has to scramble out of the way of that.
Nice and easy. Come on.
Says, no, that didn't hurt. Well, Toney wanted rounds. He got rounds.
Rydell went the distance. Made me alive.
Stop. Break. Let's go. Keep it clean.
And because Toney decelerated a little when it became completely uncompetitive.
Oh, no.
Rydell didn't take too much punishment off over the second half of the fight. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
he was staggered twice. He went down to a knee voluntarily. Never was knocked off his feet, really. And didn't take too bad a beating in the last couple rounds. In fact, started to fight a little better in the 10th, 11th, 12th.
All right, stop. Break.
Too little and too late.
Oh, now.
But a learning session for Rydell Booker.
You learn. Don't get in the ring with James Toney is what you learn.
That's what you learn.
Stop at the bell.
Chopping right hand
Stop.
from Booker
Break.
again.
10 seconds. Let's go. Stop at the bell.
Booker might even have won this round.
Stop.
It's over.
That's it.
Let's not get hysterical, Barry.
I'm going to give it to him just because it's bookends.
Sure.
I gave him the first one.
Sure, you might as well.
Well, the fight's over. I don't think the decision is really very much in doubt. Toney got a lot of work in. I think he probably got more work than he really bargained for.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'll tell you what, he started faster and ended slower than I thought he would, James, but he won every round, I thought, and most of them big, and would have been good for him to punctuate the night with a knockout. Didn't get it, and Rydell Booker deserves a lot of credit for making sure Toney didn't get it. He was game the entire time.
No, he absolutely was, and he'll go to 22-1, and we will jump away for the first time in a long time. And when we come back, we'll have the official decision. We'll see how the judges saw this, if they saw it the same way as all of us. James Toney and Rydell Booker in the books.
The #1 German beer in America is A, actually German, B, more popular than the other German beers, C, facts, D, all of the above. Life beckons, and you're holding the key.